Oh. What? What? It has to do an update? Oh boy. It's gonna be one of those games, isn't it?
Mario Kart World!
At first I didn't know if I should make this video. The game has been out for a while. There's already been multiple reviews giving this game glowing praise for being revolutionary. But you know what? Screw it. This game is exactly what we need right now. The worst racing game ever made. Hold on, hear me out. I know that sounds extreme. It's Mario Kart, right? How could it be that bad, you might say? This game feels like it tried to cram as many ideas into a single experience while excelling at none of them. This is my review of Mario Kart World. One of the first new mechanics introduced to this game is grinding, and grinding feels great. It can be hard to find where to start the grind, but I'll credit that to just part of learning the tracks. Boost builds up fast, you feel like you're rewarded for taking the longer path. It feels good. My only complaint is with getting to the start of grinding itself. There are many low rails that look like you can hop on, but the game just blocks you from doing so with a simple hop. Is there something you can do about that? Yes! Is it a mechanic buried in the digital manual with no tutorial to teach you said mechanic? Also yes! While trying to find if there was a hidden setting that showed the button layout, I finally found the digital manual, where charge jumping was listed under the techniques tab. I mean, come on, did they really not think a tutorial was necessary? Another problem with grinding is with the few rails that have ramps leading up to them. I know this sounds a little confusing, but hold on. There are multiple rails throughout the game with small entryway ramps that are only as wide as the rails themselves, that can be extremely finicky to get on. There are multiple times that it looked like I would make it onto the rail, only to be pushed to the side last second as I hit the ramp. Another new mechanic is wall riding, and it feels extremely overcomplicated. There doesn't appear to be any way to quickly start wall riding. Ha! Remember that manual? Yep, hidden there too. No tutorial, remember. You need a minimum amount of air that you can't achieve by hopping normally. Ramps can feel hard to find, and the power-up feather for a higher jump is just too rare to ever rely on. Once on the wall, it feels like you're fighting against the game's basic coding to stay on there. This game ditches the comfortable anti-gravity you are used to driving rocks with wheels like Mario went back in time. As soon as you start driving on the wall, it feels like gravity increases greatly, doing everything it can to pull you back to the road, becoming the 24th racer you have to compete with. While grinding, you can hold left or right and use your boost to do a side flip like changing rails. Of course, this isn't mentioned in the manual. This isn't possible from a normal drift though. Adding a brand new mechanic just to be able to do this rather than working it into and improving the existing mechanic is boring and lazy. I guess it makes the timing more tricky with mixing this in at appropriate times compared to just normal drifting, but it still feels half-assed. This feels minimalized by the kart and character selection, but we'll talk about that later. One thing that does need to be mentioned is how the character kart stats come into play. One would think that there are light, heavy, and everything in between characters, each with their own stats, but this isn't abundantly clear in the select menu. There is a stats info button for the karts, but not the characters. You aren't left guessing on this though. The character stats are shown combined with the kart stats. I don't know how this could even remotely be noticed without wild experimentation with a specific kart and while trying many different characters. This felt like a gotcha moment intended to punish anyone that wasn't already a devoted worshipper at the Church of Mario Kart. Power-ups feel rough and very RNG based. While in first, you only have access to the coin, banana, and green shell. It takes dropping back multiple places to get the super horn to protect yourself from the blue shells. Being in the front pack of the race, you just don't see many of the power-ups, to the point I don't know what half of them even do yet. I don't know if I was just unlucky, but in one of the knockout races, I was in 4th place for the final lap, and I was only getting mushrooms. They felt like they weren't giving me enough speed to catch up to the other racers, no matter how many boosts I used, and I couldn't get a better variety of items to try to catch up. This overall makes the power-ups feel extremely boring, and even more unbalanced for those that aren't willing to play the field for the right tools to win. The last big thing to be added is the addition of food power-ups. There's a large variety of different foods, but it all boils down to 3 levels of each one, that all give a different level of boost when used. As a new player, it can be hard to tell which is which. Maybe I will learn what's what with time, but for now it just feels like a giant gamble on how much or how little they might help you. This just feels like more bad design. A good idea at its core with little thought put into craftily weaving it into the greater world of the game. And again, this feeds into the power-up variability problem. This is just 3 more mushrooms disguised as something else.
Cool.
Overall, races feel boring. There are long straightaways and multiple tracks with nothing to interact with but mere coins. No grind rails, no walls to struggle on, just the open road. The point-to-point races are a nice idea, but executed poorly. They feel more like a trailer for the inevitable circuit track DLC rather than actual races themselves. Like a preview to show on the main menu or ad on the playable consoles at your local store. You aren't actually racing through any of them, just a casual stroll through them to check the box of showing off the different areas in the game. And please change the damn race lap icon in the bottom left. Make the circuit races the checkered flag and make the point races a banner icon. I can't stand that a checkered flag meant for signifying the end of the race serves as just a checkpoint. The traffic feels abysmal in this game, like a complete afterthought. Rather than making traffic unique and interesting that adds to each track's elements, a generic group of vehicle designs have been implemented to fit the open world feel of the game. And in doing so, traffic adds nothing to the races but an out-of-place obstacle. Overall, the problem is there's nothing to do in many portions of the races themselves. A bunch of mechanics have been added to the game without any thought of how to tie them together. Adding the necessary grinding and wall ride spots is probably too complicated at this point, but maybe tie it more into traffic. Add big advertisement trucks for the other areas that you can wall ride off of, log pipe carrying trucks to grind on their cargo, just something to add to the track itself and theme of the overall areas to make them feel more fleshed out. After a few more play sessions, I did eventually experience said vehicles, but how the hell did it take me multiple hours completing multiple cups and spending too much time in free roam to find my first truck carrying pipes? Am I just that unlucky, or are these vehicles charted off in their own little areas? My first play session felt like an attempt at causing regret in buying this game, rather than presenting anything close to being fun. Free roam feels like the main feature of this embarrassing joke of a game. There's no incentive to experience free roam apart from a few challenges, and in that lies its greatest weakness, the map. Like I mentioned earlier, the power-ups in this game are a complete wash, with seemingly only one being able to help you get to some areas. In free roam, these are even harder to find with minimal power-up blocks around, rarity of getting the desired power-up needed for these areas, and once you finally have it, it is impossible to figure out where to go. The minimap is useless as it shows far too small of an area to figure out anything. There's no north, south, east, west directions anywhere, so you're left guessing. And there's no accessible map while in free roam to check where you are going. Now you might be saying, hold on a second, yes there is a menu. And you would be right. But you know what? The settings menu you are presented in free roam only takes you to a list of assists you can turn on and off. The only other option is to go back to the main menu to go back to that pesky manual. After spending a good 20 minutes looking, I could not find a button layout to look at. While I loosely remember seeing that somewhere, I also remember the X and Y buttons not having anything labeled to them. That's right, I found it. The button layout display is only visible in the pause menu mid-race. It is not visible at all in free roam or the main menu, only visible in the pause menu mid-race. How are you supposed to know there's a map button at this point? My first play session I felt betrayed, like my only option was to go back to the main menu, check the map there, then lose that power-up I had to get in the first place to reach where I was trying to go. This makes finding the collectible blue coins, peach coins, question blocks, and so on a complete chore, rather than anything resembling something that's supposed to be fun and exciting. After going through all that frustration and only discovering the map button while watching a video my friend sent me, you would think there would be an amazing reward for these, right? Nope. It's a sticker. A freaking sticker. To place on your car, right? Nope. To place next to your driver icon on the race summary. Yep. All that effort for a reward you'll maybe see for 2 minutes in your entire playtime of this game while watching what starts to feel like a loading screen more than a summary. This leads me to the most bizarre part of this game. Remember all those crazy combinations from Mario Kart 8? The blue Falcon with monster truck tires? All that has been removed in favor of the same amount of kart designs? Yep, same count of karts total. And yet somehow at the same time it doesn't feel like there's that many. Many of the karts feel indistinguishable from one another. With the removal of the mix and match, you would assume some form of customization must have been added, but you would be wrong. No color change options, or tire appearance changes, or rim design changes. Nothing. There are stickers, but again, you can't put the stickers on the vehicles. Any sense of making your combination you is completely gone. At least unlocking different carts is straightforward enough. Every 100 coins collected, you get a new cart until you've unlocked all 40. And after watching an interview explaining that Nintendo wouldn't bring back an older franchise or make a new game without a new type of gimmick, I was ready for what exciting new thing would come to World. Well, they advertised the different wheel changes to go along with the different terrains that came with an open world game. It was minimal, but I was really excited to see wheel and vehicle changes when going between different terrains like water, pavement, dirt. A proper gimmick, even if it has been done before. But for the most part, the carts are so small or designed without this feature in mind that it just feels like it was the final feature of development thrown in as another, this could be a cool idea, have a working demo for me by next Monday. The best part of this game is the new outfits for characters. There are random food-themed power-ups scattered across the world, and picking up certain ones will give you an outfit themed around that area. Finally, some form of customization for this game. The problem with this is not every character gets an outfit. The whole map problem again, with trying to track down which ones you don't have, needing to do the same food pickups again and again for every character that does get an outfit. Looking at the map reveals only the core Mario characters get outfits, but not all characters are created equal. How does DK only get one? I don't even like Donkey Kong, and this still pisses me off. The fastest way to unlock this form of customization is to find a food item, then endlessly repeat picking up the food, using the food, then swapping to the next character. Since of course, the amount of outfits varies, and not every food is guaranteed to give an outfit. Even in the character select screen, picking a different outfit is frustrating. It isn't the same as changing the color of a character. Each outfit is treated as its own character that then takes additional scrolling and searching to find the one you're looking for. Some piss poor attempt at making the roster feel bigger than it really is. Don't worry, unlocking new characters is even more annoying. All of the characters with outfits are unlocked by completing cups. Good. But the rest are tied to the most RNG of all RNGs to ever RNG in a video game. The remaining characters are tied to a new item where Kamek flies through the level, turning everyone into a random character, then placing the same character as a new obstacle to dodge at the front of the pack. Yes, unlocking them is tied to using an item that you cannot use on yourself. Someone else must use it on you, meaning they can only be unlocked through races. In addition to that, it is entirely random on which character you are turned into. Some tracks seem to improve your chances to be turned into a given character, but at the end of the day, it's still random. Which means there is a chance that you may never unlock a given character. To unlock the side drivers, you need to compete in a race, hoping that an NPC will hit an item box, get lucky enough to get the Kamek item, use the item while you are ahead of them but not too far ahead, and while you are close enough to the middle of the track, otherwise Kamek might miss you. And on top of all that, you have to hope to get turned into the character you're hoping to unlock. This is tedious to the point that many have resorted to cheesing the characters by playing versus mode in 2-player mode and with no NPCs to create the perfect setup to speed up the process. Still, no guarantee of unlocking the character. Who in the fucking hell thought character unlock should be tied to this bullshit RNG? I honestly don't know what this game is trying to be, and I don't think it knows either. This feels like a great game that a higher up thought during a meeting, you know what'd be cool? If we added this new feature. Get it into the game and show me a demo next meeting, without anyone saying no. And then repeat this process multiple times until you've beaten the soul out of any hope this game might have once had. This game is a 43-layer cake of ideas, half-baked with shit between each layer, holding the pathetic excuse of a video game together. The more I think about Mario Kart World, the more frustrated I get. I loved 8, and I really wanted this game to be good. I was ready to be proven wrong, and this game to be the next pinnacle of what arcade racing games should be. Instead, I got Slop Fest World. And I think that's a good thing. This game is exactly what we need right now. It is the launch title for the new Nintendo console, priced at a hefty $80. This game is clear proof that Nintendo has completely lost what once made them so great, and a clean-cut example that video games are not worth this new artificial price bump Nintendo believes it to be. Mario Kart World is the best game ever made. 3 well-executed ideas out of 10.